All right. Hi, everybody. It's Friday here, October 29th. I'm dressed up because I was teaching my students. And of course, you have to celebrate everything and anything you possibly can. And so I decided to come as Baby Grogu. So happy Friday. Matt Shep is back with us, and we're going to be talking about intentions today.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for having me back. I'm excited to talk about this. It's something I've been practicing for a while, and I've shared it with others, but I'd really like to kind of get it out there. I think it's a really helpful tool to kind of get you through those, especially those low times.
For sure. Yeah, and it'll be interesting too to hear kind of the way, because people have different and work with intentions and different things, but it's always, I find it fascinating to see how people make it their own, right? Because again, you've got this big arching thing of intentions or goal setting or manifesting or things like that, but it's how does each person put their own twist on it and what do they do so that it works best for them, right? So I can't wait to hear what you do and how you work the intentions.
Yeah, I mean, you totally nailed it. Like, life is such a personal experience. You got to find, do it your own way. Don't try to, mimic what other people are doing, but use those ideas to kind of guide you. Yeah, so intentions, like I carry what I call it, I have intention stones, and it started a long time ago. I noticed when I was doing my long runs that my hands would start to swell. Have you ever noticed that when you're running, your hands begin to swell and they just kind of feel full, like full of fluid? So I picked up a stone and I was carrying it, just playing with it to get some motion in my hands, because you're constantly running with your hands in that kind of idle position. And I take it and I throw it in a little rock garden at my house, and it kind of just became a bit of a ritual. When my hands would swell, I would pick up the stone and I would start doing races, and I would, as I'm going along, I was looking for the perfect stone to play with, something with some good ridges, or something, not too heavy, but with a little bit of weight to it. And, then I would take it and it would be kind of my memento from the event, whether it was like a hike or a race or something. So, yeah, so I started collecting them, and now I carry them in like a small pouch, and I think about, the different experiences that I have with each rock, or if it was a gift. Some of them are gifts that come with intentions, and so it's been a really neat kind of journey collecting these and utilizing them. So I thought this would be great to share with other people, not only because a lot of people I talk to have experienced the hand swelling while you're running, and it's a great tool to kind of like get that to reduce a bit. You're playing with a stone in your hands, gets the muscles moving and helps to kind of move that whatever excess fluid off of your hands. Yeah, so I just thought maybe I would share a couple of the stones that I've collected, the ones that I like to carry, and how they help me get through those kind of the low experiences. When you're really tired and you're out there and you've got a long ways to go, or it feels monumental, the task in front of you. So I carry these stones. I just throw like one in my pocket if I kind of have a particular thing I'd like to think about. And when my hands start to swell, or if I feel like I'm just struggling mentally, I'll grab one of these and just kind of like meditate on it.
That's really neat. And it makes me think like what you're talking about, your intention stones. I know, again, just if I think myself and also with my students, sometimes, they'll have what they call a worry stone, different idea, but still that thought of having something in the hand, that tactile does a lot too for the mind. It just, I find, is very grounding as well. So there's lots of layers to having those stones. I think are fantastic for many different things. And for you with the intention, yeah, I know I've got a few as well that I kind of carry close to me, and it really helps in those tougher moments where that mindset and that mind your mind really comes into play.
Yeah, definitely. And it helps to bring you can bring your focus, you can take that mental focus and move it around. Like sometimes, you know, if you feel ever that you're really just having a deep conversation in your head, you're in your head space. But if you say have a pain in your ankle, sometimes that's all you can feel. It's like that's the only thing your mind is occupied with. And so if you have these you know, tactile things that you can touch and feel, you know, even your own fingerprints, rubbing your fingers together, you can take your focus and bring it and feel, what does that ridge feel like? Like, how can I feel them individually? And, you know, so like bringing that focus to a specific place can help, you know, just kind of guide you through different things, especially if you're being drawn in 100 different, you know, ways. You feel that pressure, just kind of taking that stone or taking whatever that item is and just kind of bringing your focus into one spot. And then that just a kind of another way of meditation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's funny too, because typically when you say meditation to people, they always assume that it's you're sitting still and that's it. And there's so much more. That's not the only way, as you mentioned, right? Like I know for me, I meditate when I'm hiking, like when I'm in the forest and I'm hiking, or if I'm kayaking. Those are things those are it's an active meditation, if you will, right? So yeah, just different ways.
Yeah, oh, definitely. It's terrific. It doesn't have to be, that one, be the person sitting in the room alone, silently, their legs crossed, which is, I mean, a terrific method if that's your method, but it doesn't have to be that. It's more about bringing bringing that attention, that awareness, and moving it around. Mm-hmm. And, you know, being in more control of it instead of being bombarded by the signals that are coming in.
Mm-hmm. And is that something like, was this something you said that you started collecting these stones, and that did you have intentions, or were you working with intentions prior to that? Or is it just something?
No, not a whole lot. You know, like if I think about my headspace prior to, like when I kind of got in my start to ultra running, it definitely was one of like just being shielded, like, you know, stop the incoming signals. You know, I didn't have a great headspace. And so this has been just a really, like I said earlier, it's just been a journey, kind of, you know, the people that come into my life and share things with me, and then, you know, you take those and you adapt them and make them your own. And this is definitely one of those things where I kind of, you know, took the input and, you know, combined it into my own special little ritual. And I don't know, it's nice to have.
Mm-hmm, for sure, right? That's awesome. And so you were saying you've got some stones with you, right, that you were going to show us or talk to us about, or is it?
Yeah, I thought perhaps I could share some of my favorite intentions, and the stones behind them, the ones that I typically carry. I've got a variety of them, but yeah, I'll share a couple of my favorites with you.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Here, check this. All right, here we go. See if we could get this to. Oh, look at this.
Awesome.
So yeah, so these are a few of the ones that I've collected over the years. Many of them are gifts. Some of them I find as I'm hiking along. This one, I think this is amethyst. Mm-hmm. It was a gift from my sister, and I call this one my love stone. And this is kind of a fun one because, you know, love was kind of something I've struggled with a lot, you know, like just expressing your emotions. And so this one, when I carry this, I like to just remember all of the people that care about me, and the people that love me, and the people that I love, and, you know, just kind of like remember that connection. And yeah, it's just a really enjoyable one. It helps me through a lot of the tougher times when you're struggling and you just, you know, you need a friend. Mm-hmm. This is my intention stone for that moment.
That's awesome.
This is a fun one. So this is my grounding stone, and basically with this one, I just kind of think about, you know, like where am I in the world? Like I travel quite a bit, and I like to do this meditation where I'll hold this stone and then I'll try to have you ever used Google Earth and you zoom out and
Yes.
from your location? So I try to like zoom out in my mind and build the world around me from like the things that I've seen as I, however I arrived at the location I'm at. So I try to like think, okay, what's the next room over look like? What does the building I'm in look like from the outside? How many streets over is the park? Like, so just kind of zooming out in that perspective and then going, oh, like I'm a long ways away from the place I call home. And it's just it's kind of a fun way to just kind of bring yourself into the space that you're in, the place that you occupy in space. It's just it's neat. So that's my grounding stone. Kind of just helps set your head right.
I like that. I like the visual too, the idea of like the Google Earth. That's a really good visual for us to imagine the process that you go through with that one.
Yeah, I really like to take note of the things that are around me, especially if I'm doing a run through somewhere I've never been before. I'll mentally take in a picture of, there's this mountain on my right side, and I'm following this ridge line, and build that in my head as I'm going. It just something to keep me occupied while I'm running, as well as it's good for practicing for my dream race, the Barkley marathons in Tennessee.
Nice.
Let's see. This is a fun one. So this is one I collected. I was on a hike with my friend, and it was just like every corner we took, it was something just breathtaking. There were waterfalls and these just unbelievable views. So as I was hiking, I picked this one up because it looked like somebody had dipped it in icing. And there's the expression, the icing on the cake. And so I kind of just tied that to this one and went, that's what this trip was. It was just like everything was perfect. It was just kind of, it lined up, and the timing was great. Just a terrific trip. So I think about how often that happens. You go, and sometimes if nothing goes wrong, you just forget to take notice of how perfect things actually went. But when something goes wrong and you go, oh man, what a disaster that was. But if all goes smooth, it's just another day. So every day that things go right, just be thankful for those. I like to say arigato, so just to remind myself, be thankful for the things that are going well.
I like that. And that's, again, that ties in nicely to what we had talked about last time too, about kind of that having that attitude of gratitude, and even if it's for the simplest little thing, and again, for the struggles that we face, it's okay. So I'm in the moment, it might feel horrible, but in the struggle, there's something that's going to come out of it. There's a lesson. There's at least that's how I kind of frame things when things kind of get those little hiccups or bumps. It's like, okay, so what am I going to learn from this? Maybe I need to slow down. What do I need to do differently? And how can I come away with this with something else? Right. So, I like that.
Yeah. Every day is a step forward, regardless of what's occurring. Time moves in one direction. So if you let all the hardships get you down, and feel like you're going backwards, then, you're already losing the battle before you start. So yeah, it's good to have those things, like a little physical reminder, something that you can hold and remember, there are good times and they will come again, even when it gets tough.
Yeah. There's it makes me think too, there's a book called Full Catastrophe Living. It's an older one. But it's really cool because it talks about that. It's being able to hold in that tension, right? And so often it's when something goes sideways or it's icky, icky feeling, very scientific. When you get that kind of feeling, you just want to get out of it, right? It's that reptilian brain that's like, get me out of here. And instead of learning to sit in it, and like you said, just that little mind shift, or looking at that rock and origato, or you know, looking at your icing on the cake, and looking at those different things. And they're just little things that are also a good reminder and a good way to kind of flip that pattern, or like a pattern interrupt, right? So yeah, that's awesome.
I love it. That was a perfect summary. You nailed it.
Thank you. No, that's fantastic. And it's, I mean, I would imagine too, with long distance running, like I know my mind wanders after a few minutes. That's actually why I love running, dancing, and paddling, because in those moments, and hiking too, in those moments, the hamster's off the wheel. It's actually one of the few times where I can just, everything else is gone. But if it's over a long period of time, then other things start to happen, right? So again, you were kind of talking to that too, that when you're running, it's how do you occupy your mind? How do you kind of play a few little games so that you're adjusting the tack and the mindset as you're going through different stages of your running too, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's because it is, you know, definitely there are times when you want to be alert and aware and, you know, have a functioning active mind. And there are times when you just want to turn it off and just run. So,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, there's a time and a place for all of it. So, you know, just make sure to enjoy all of the bits of it, you know, even not your favorite ones.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And it also, like, I can see how, you know, if I think about vision boards and goal setting and our SMART goals and different things like that as well, that intention, again, like I know myself, I like to kind of tie the intention to the SMART goal, or to what the vision is, right? So again, it's kind of extra reinforcement for things. I don't know. It's just something that I found I really like too. It works well.
I like that, the SMART goals. That's a good format for goal setting.
Yeah, definitely. We've been working on that in class, talking a lot about, you know, and I think as adults, we do it too. I have a ukulele that I bought last year, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to learn how to play the ukulele. Well, it's still in the bag. So again, this year we talked about SMART goals, and I said, okay, this is how we're going to lay it out. And that's it. It's that, again, that failing to plan, right? You're going to go around in circles and not get anywhere if you don't have some clear ideas of milestones and things that you can do. So yeah.
Yeah,
And so
that's huge.
for you, you mentioned, like, for you, you're recovering right now, and so for you, that kind of brings us into that part of it with you, and when you're recovering, if you know, you've injured yourself, or what's happened, what's the are there different intentions there, or do you, like, because the mindset with that would be something else too, I would imagine.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it was really a struggle. I've taken injuries before, but I've not ever had like race seasons planned like this ahead of time. And so, you know, I had some pretty big goals this year, and so I definitely went through a bit of a dark time trying to get adjusted, just not moving, to go from you know, running 100 and however many miles to a dead stop was tough. It's tough mentally, it's tough physically. And yeah, so I had to kind of give myself a goal. I'm a creature of habit. I love to be working on something. And so to keep my mind, you know, occupied and ready to go, I started building, you know, the rehab plan. What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? How am I going to structure this? And I created a goal for myself, something that I've wanted to work on for quite some time, just have never taken the time to do it, was a pistol squat, which is, it's kind of a squat where you're standing on one leg, you put the other leg out in front of you, and then you squat down and stand back up, which going down is easy, getting up is much more difficult. It's a move that I really admire. I see people that can do it, and I go, man, that looks like a tough move. I know it's a tough move. I can't even do it. So I thought, you know, that would be a great thing to incorporate. Like, I'm going to be working on you know, hip stability and hip strength over the next couple of weeks or months. So I thought, there we go. That'll be a perfect opportunity to kind of build towards something I wanted to do. as well as, get through the rehab. So now I have something to be excited about, like, and I have a goal. When I'm done, I'm hopefully going to be able to do this move. So yeah, definitely set intentions, like set goals, make plans, and try to stick to them the best you can, because that's your route to success. It's like if you had a list of, remember when Google Maps, you had to print them off before you had your phone? Imagine if you just like threw one of those pages away and was like, I'm not going to do that one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't get where you're going. So make your map and follow it.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's it, right? It's that key piece of follow through, and it's okay, feel the feels. And that's it exactly, is feeling it, sitting in that, I'm not happy with where I'm at right now, but let's get moving, let's set something, and let's get that consistency. And that's it, right? That consistency and that persistence, as you said, each day is a step forward. And so whether it's a couple of steps or a bit more, it's still moving forward, and it's still moving from where you were. And I think it's celebrating that. And I can see how the intention stones would work, or intentions in general would work well with that too. It's like, oh yeah, right. Okay. That's a good reminder, because right, you're caught up in what's going on. And sometimes you forget the simple things, right? Yeah.
Right on. That was a fun chat. I'm
Yeah.
excited that we got the opportunity to do this.
So am I. And next time when we meet, I won't show up in well, maybe I will. No, I won't. I won't show up in costume next time. It'll be back to me. But
I don't know. Maybe this should be a reoccurring thing. Like, what are you
only
gonna do
if you do too.
I don't know.
But no, this has been absolutely amazing. Guys, if you've got any questions for us about anything we're chatting about, any comments, we would love to hear it. And yeah, if there's something you want to hear about from Matt, if there's something in particular, any questions, yeah, or something you want to kind of discuss further, let us know, and we'd love to chat some more. And yeah, I think I'm assuming we're going to chat again. So we'll figure out what our next topic's going to be, and then hopefully we'll connect and go to it. So thanks for joining us. Thanks, Shep. I keep on saying Matt. I guess I can thank you, Shep.
Interchangeable.
All right.